Coming up on Citrus TV News Live at 6.
First Year Players has announced their spring musical. Citrus TV reporter Shruti Marathe takes us inside the rehearsals.
The Broncos won the Super Bowl last night, but what's next for quarterback Peyton Manning? Kevin Case will tell you more.
But first, we have full coverage live from New Hampshire, all about the major candidates in advance of the primary tomorrow.
Citrus TV News starts right now.
From the Citrus TV studios, this is Citrus TV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
Welcome to Citrus TV News Live at 6 for Monday, February 8th. I'm Alex Amico.
And I'm Katherine Robinson. Tomorrow is the second primary of the race for the White House. Tonight, we examine what results we expect on our road to 2016.
New Hampshire residents will head to the polls tomorrow to vote for their preferred presidential candidate.
Donald Trump is currently leading in the Republican polls, with Marco Rubio holding second place.
To take us deeper into the Republican primary, Talking Points correspondent Josh Carney is live with us from Marco Rubio rally in Manchester, New Hampshire.
Josh, what can we expect from the Rubio rally tonight?
Hi guys, well what we can expect is a pretty large turnout for the final rally before primary day. Marco Rubio is expecting to make his final pitch to voters on a broad scale and make sure that he can regain votes in a state where he has misappropriated resources. He's behind in the polls according to the latest polls out from Real Clear Politics, but Trump is steadily ahead and Rubio is trying to capitalize on what he gained in Iowa.
And Josh, what are Ted Cruz's chances looking like tomorrow in this primary? Josh,
I'm sorry, we can't quite hear you guys.
Josh, what are Ted Cruz's chances looking like tomorrow in this primary?
Ted Cruz's chances are dwindling. While he's definitely not going to do as superior as he did in Iowa, he's definitely going to do well, but he's certainly behind the polls, and we'll see if his steady campaigning can bring him back to where he was within Iowa voters' eyes.
And what was your experience with the Trump campaign today?
Well, Trump initially said that it was going to be a rally of sorts, or a town hall, if you will, and then it ended up being closed to media. It seems as if the organization, by and large, is having some trouble scheduling certain areas for the media to take advantage of. We see that while he is leading in the polls and making an effort with voters, there's definitely a discrepancy in terms of how well he is doing in New Hampshire.
Now, Chris Christie and John Kasich have spent the majority of their time and money in New Hampshire. What are their odds looking like tomorrow?
Chris Christie and John Kasich have done a lot to make sure that their names and their support is regaining conscience here in New Hampshire. They have tried their best to make sure that they have made a valiant effort in terms of the voters in the granite state. While voters will turn out, it's not clear if it will be able to catapult them into the top three spots. While Real Clear Politics does have their polling ahead of schedule and certainly ahead of those that did better than them in Iowa, it's unclear yet if we will be able to see them in a better light here in New Hampshire.
Josh, thanks so much for joining us. Be sure to check out Talking Points this Thursday at 7:30, where we'll talk all about the results of the New Hampshire primary.
And on the left side of things, Bernie Sanders is curbing the enthusiasm of his voters.
The candidate made a cameo appearance with Larry David on Saturday Night Live this past weekend.
And polls suggest that David's parody impressions on SNL have significantly helped Sanders and his popularity.
Sanders is estimated to win the New Hampshire primary by a tight margin against Hillary Clinton. For a closer look at the Clinton campaign, we go to Monica Hammer.
When the going has gotten tough, Hillary Clinton has gotten tougher. When people tried to put her down, she stood up. When people tried to tell her to wait her turn, she went to the front of the line.
At a rally in Concord on Saturday, Clinton was joined on stage by former Secretary of State Madeleine Albright and Senator Cory Booker, who have been supporting her on the campaign trail.
There's never been anybody that is better at understanding things and ready to go than Hillary.
If you've had a chance to see Hillary Clinton over the last few days here in New Hampshire, you have seen a woman put forth a full, complete case of why she should be the next president of the United States.
Clinton addressed numerous issues such as health care and equal rights for women, bringing cheers to the crowd.
So we are at 90% coverage. And I know how to get us to 100, and I know how to get the costs down, and I know how to make sure it is never repealed, it is never ripped away, we don't start over again. But I need your help on Tuesday to send a clear message to the Republicans and everybody else.
Some voters felt that Clinton's performance helped them make up their minds.
So I've seen her a couple times now, and this is probably one of her best rallies. She really just held her own, and she was able to articulate her ideas perfectly.
I had high expectations, and she met every single one of them. It was energizing, inspiring, and I'm just so glad that I came.
And she wasn't the only one who felt more enthusiastic about Clinton after the event. Clinton supporters are anxious to get their hats and t-shirts here right outside the rally after hearing her speak. This was one of Clinton's last events before her plans to visit Flint, Michigan on Sunday to address the water crisis. Clinton will return soon after for the final stretch of voter outreach before the primary on Tuesday. In Concord, Monica Hammer, Citrus TV.
And 16 Syracuse University upperclassmen are headed to Massachusetts to attend a highly selective professional development program. The 3-day workshop offers a life-changing learning experience that helps students transition into the workplace. Delegate Nicole Corcoran spoke with us about this honor.
In the past year or so, I've kind of found myself kind of like opening up to new opportunities and new passions in my life. A lot of that has to do with my my position on the orientation leader team. This past year, I was head orientation leader, so that kind of showed me, or kind of revealed to me my ability and the impact I can make as a leader.
Students are preparing for the annual First Year Players musical, and the performance is being put together by a freshman cast and stage crew. Citrus TV reporter Shruti Marathe gives us a closer look.
Is set and rehearsal is underway. Syracuse University's student-run musical, First Year Players, is getting ready to premiere their show this spring. The group only casts freshman students who are not drama majors. SU is one of only 2 groups in the country that solely allows first-year students on the stage. Director Paul Moncano says that specific setup of the organization is what makes it special.
A lot of freshmen, by the time they hit January of their freshman year, they still might not have a place on campus, a friend group to go to, but once they get into FYP, they're immediately welcomed into a huge family.
Older members also find the first-year players' experience rewarding. After freshman year, the members that take leadership positions get to build bonds with students of all years. Members find those friendships just as rewarding as the final product.
Yes, the primary function of FYP is to put on a show every year, but it's with the freshmen. And what that allows for is upperclassmen getting an opportunity to mentor and become friends with and to welcome freshmen into the school, basically, and into the organization.
The group's practice schedule is quite rigorous, with practices almost every day, but having the cast share blood, sweat, and tears is what brings them closer.
You guys are working together for a common goal, and I think that bonds people more than just hanging out or just being regular friends. Working together on something, on a project together, on making a show in the spring, I think that allows for people to get even closer than they would if they were just hanging out.
This year, the cast is performing the musical Heathers. It'll hit the stage in Goldstein this April. For Citrus TV News, I'm Shruti Marathe.
Coming up next, a Mardi Gras parade turns deadly.
And celebrations begin as the Year of the Monkey commences.
Currently, it is 38 degrees with cloudy skies. 9-mile-per-hour winds are coming in from the northeast, making it feel more like 31 degrees. Snow is coming our way this week, so stay tuned to Citrus TV News to find out when. After this.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Jimmy can't sing, and Tommy can't dance, so we're gonna put some ants in their pants. Aww.
Kids will spend 22 minutes watching us, the super duper party troopers, sing about ants in their pants.
Isn't that funny? Ants in their pants, they got ants in their pants, they got ants in their pants.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
President Obama's promises to stem gun violence haven't been realized as of late.
The lack of action by law enforcement agencies has failed to meet the expectations that followed the president's touching address early this year.
This inaction is serving as a reminder for the limits of President Obama's executive authority.
2 people are dead and 4 are wounded after a shooting at a notoriously rowdy Mardi Gras parade in Pass Christian, Mississippi.
Shots were also fired at a Mardi Gras celebration in New Orleans, but there were no victims.
No suspects have been named in either shooting.
Tensions are strained between North Korea and China after North Korea sent an ill-advised rocket into space.
To add insult to injury, it was launched on the eve of the Chinese New Year.
It came just days after a Chinese diplomat advised North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un against the launch.
Many suspect it's a front for a weapons test.
And Taiwanese officials are embarking on missions to rescue victims of last Friday's earthquake.
Authorities believe up to 117 people may be buried alive under layers of rubble.
Many workers lack the equipment necessary to keep those who are trapped warm.
Taiwan's Secretary General says the cold climate puts the individuals at risk of hypothermia.
And Chinese New Year celebrations are in full swing across the world.
Today marks the first day of the Year of the Monkey and a time to honor ancestors and prepare for the good fortune to come.
The New Year is considered a public holiday in China, Hong Kong, and other countries with a significant Chinese population.
The holiday period will last until early March.
I heard we have a snow in the forecast for this week.
Our Citrus TV weather anchor Rebecca Castor has more on this.
Thanks, Catherine and Alex. Our current temperature map shows that temperatures across the nation have risen just slightly from last week. However, don't go thinking the groundhog was right when he predicted an early spring. Snow is definitely coming our way. Our Doppler radar shows light snow is in our vicinity. We can expect snow to start falling overnight, but the ground is not cold enough yet for it to stick. As temperatures start to drop this week, we can expect more snow to start sneaking to the ground, just like we saw a few weeks ago as students were returning to campus. Tonight, the snow is predicted to start around 3 a.m. and fall for about 3 hours. It's going to be about 29 degrees tonight, so if you're planning to be out late, definitely bundle up. Tomorrow morning, we're going to have a break from the snow flurries until they start up again in the late afternoon. Even though it won't be snowing in the morning, you're still going to want to grab your heavy jacket on your way to class because it's going to be in the 20s with 5-mile-per-hour winds. Taking a look at our 5-day forecast, we see temperatures are dropping drastically this week. Tuesday, we have the showers in the late afternoon with a high of 41. Wednesday, we're going to have about 1 to 3 inches fall with a high of 34 degrees. Same for Thursday with a high of 20. Friday, we're going to have a break from the snow with a high of 26 and a low of 5 degrees. And Saturday, we have a shocking high of 6 degrees, and we're going to have about less than an inch of snowfall.
So, Rebecca, is the snow we're going to get later this week from Storm Mars?
Storm Mars is actually not affecting Syracuse right now. This snow is just your typical Syracuse snow for February. Storm Mars has been affecting states from Maine to New York City. They're on an emergency weather alert.
Now, Rebecca, I was wearing shorts last week, so what's with the change right now?
I know, with an El Nino year, you really just can never expect what the weather's going to do. Typically, we would be having snow like pretty consistently, and we're just now seeing it for the first time since we've been back on campus.
Thanks, Rebecca. Wondering why you couldn't grab a Chipotle burrito this afternoon? We'll have more next.
The dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice. And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
We couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund breeding.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words.
Playing world music.
What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Mosquitoes, which have been called the deadliest animal in the world, are in the spotlight once again with the spread of the Zika virus. While killing off the population seems like a viable solution, there will always be a remnant population that will repopulate and continue to spread diseases. And a high school in Marblehead, Massachusetts is offering meditation time at the start of some classes. Marblehead is just one of the many high schools across the country teaching mindfulness exercises to help their students cope with stress. Experts say that the guided meditation teaches teenagers to deal with pressure in a healthy, non-destructive way.
According to entertainment execs, stories about the 2008 financial crisis have driven a rise in audience of movies, TV shows, and novels. The Big Short, based on the bestseller by Michael Lewis, was a huge success at the box office this season, bringing in more than $100 million. HBO is set to release a movie about Bernie Madoff in 2017, and ABC just released a two-part miniseries last week. Chipotle restaurants around the country missed the lunch rush today, while employees met to discuss new food safety changes in response to an E. coli outbreak. Chipotle competitors, including Moe's and Taco Bell, took the shutdown as an opportunity to offer deals and introduce new menu items. Coming up, the
Lady Orange forced enough turnovers to make even the Denver Broncos defense proud. I'm Kevin Case, and I'll have that story in sports next.
It's a time to relax and unwind from the pressures of work and school. Unfortunately, the weekend is also a time for many people to abuse drugs and alcohol. Listen to the words some people use when they talk about the good time they had over the weekend. They say, I went to a party Friday night and got plastered. Or, Saturday night, I was really wasted. Maybe they didn't have such a good time after all.
This message furnished by the NCAA.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Looks like it's done.
Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So learn the right temperature to cook each type of meat. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
Good evening on this Super Bowl Monday. The Broncos and the Panthers weren't the only two sports teams in action this weekend. Here on the Hill, SU women's basketball was looking for its 4th consecutive win as it looked to take the sting out of the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. It was Women's Appreciation Day on the Hill. Syracuse wearing those pink jersey. 3 minutes in, Brittany Sykes finds Alexis Peterson for the easy two. Orange up 7-3. Now in the second quarter, Georgia Tech finding its legs. Antonia Parison knocks down the Three Jackets, actually up 30-24 at the break. But in the third quarter, SU would get back into it. Alexis Peterson pulls up from the elbow, knocks that jumper down. SU within one at this point. In the fourth, the Orange took over. Cornelia Fondren makes the steal, and back on the other end, Alexis Peterson knocks in the three. SU wins 71-52 and gets its fourth straight win in the ACC. Moving to the gridiron, where a career marred by injuries has come to a close. Former Syracuse quarterback Terrell Hunt's collegiate career is now officially over. This afternoon, SU confirmed that Hunt's appeal to the NCAA for a sixth season of eligibility was denied. Hunt, a fifth-year senior, missed the majority of the 2014 and 2015 seasons with a broken leg and a torn Achilles tendon. The Rosedale, New York native finishes his time on the Hill with over 2,600 passing yards and 24 career touchdowns. The Broncos defeated the Panthers last night to win Super Bowl 50, but was that what most SU students took away from America's biggest sporting event? We sent our reporter KJ Vaughn out on the Hill to find out.
Thanks, Kevin. I'm out here on the Hill interviewing people about the Super Bowl. So we heard it here first, the Broncos did win the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Do you think Rudy would have been able to do better against that Broncos defense than Cam?
Probably not.
It wasn't a good game. Beyonce and Coldplay had better games than that.
Beyonce's Beyonce, and she's just the queen of everything.
Do you think that might represent America's imperialism, that we would kind of shun the British artist?
Absolutely not.
She's the only one who kept her footing the whole time.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Anything else on the game?
I didn't like the commercials that much. They weren't that great.
$20.
Lost $20. Were you betting on Lady Gaga's Star Spangled Banner performance?
Yes, that. Exactly.
I heard there was a controversy. I don't know what it was about, though.
Yeah, well, I know that it was because it went over like the 2 minutes and 20-second mark. People freaked out about it.
Coldplay, their show was cool, but who stole the show? It was Queen Bee.
Do you think Coldplay gets another shot sometime?
No.
Thanks, KJ. In not as fun NFL news, current Bill LaShawn McCoy and former Syracuse running back Curtis Brinkley are in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons today. According to a police report obtained by CSNphilly.com, Brinkley was with McCoy when McCoy got into an altercation with off-duty police officers at a Philadelphia nightclub on Sunday morning. 2 officers suffered broken ribs in the incident. No arrests have been made in relation to the altercation at this time. And finally, in the NBA, the Knicks said see you later to head coach Derek Fisher earlier today, firing the second-year head coach after its team lost its 5th straight game. Fisher had no previous coaching experience when he was hired by team president Phil Jackson in June of 2014. And in his first season, Fisher led New York to an abysmal 17-win campaign. This year, the Knicks had shown some improvement, but New York currently sits in 12th place in the Eastern Conference. Former assistant Kurt Rambis will take over as Knicks head coach.
So, Kevin, what did you think of that Broncos win last night?
Well, honestly, just like the whole NFL season, that game was unpredictable. The Panthers were favored in Vegas, and a lot of people had Carolina to win, but lo and behold, the Broncos pulled out on top.
Now, coming out of an MVP season, what did you think of Cam Newton's performance yesterday?
You know, Cam had a very, very tough game against Denver, but look, that Broncos defense is number 1 in the NFL for a reason. Von Miller, their linebacker, got the MVP, so you can't put all the blame on Cam for that Carolina loss. The Broncos defense also was fantastic last night.
And turning it over to Syracuse, do you think the Orange will be able to pull off a win in the Dome this Thursday?
You know, you hope so. Florida State and Syracuse, right around the same area in the ACC, both teams in the middle of the standings. So it's a big game for Syracuse. It would be a good win for the Orange to have. I think they'll manage to pull it out, yeah.
And going back to the Super Bowl really quick, what is Peyton Manning going to do now? Do you think he rides off in the sunset with this?
I think the same as everyone else. I think Peyton's done after this. He's getting up there in age. He's really struggling to throw the football down the field, but who knows? We saw Brett Favre come back when everyone thought he was done, so only time will tell.
Thank you so much. Coming up, we'll have one last look at your weather. Citrus TV News will be right back.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Thank you, dear. Oh, you're very supple. Just like I was at your age. Back then, I was a sex expert. Used to call me the buttered biscuit. I know about birth control, too. So you can ask me anything, baby.
Bedsider.org has birth control information and a lot more. And it's...
Have you had sex in this car yet?
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it.
While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed all that.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
So the game this Thursday in the Dome, what should I wear to make sure I'm not freezing?
Yeah, temperatures are definitely going to be low by then, so you're going to want to bring out your orange and blue snow hats. If you have like an orange jacket, you're going to want to bring that out, but it's always warm in the Dome, so definitely layer up.
Now, one thing that's been popping up on my Instagram feed lately has been people doing these crazy yoga poses in the snow, hashtagging it Snowga. What's that all about?
Yes, that is a new thing that yoga fanatics have brought out this year, Snowga. Women who are into yoga say it's a great way to combat depression in the winter when you can't go outside as much. They say go out for about like 3 minutes in the morning, do a few yoga poses, and then come back in and get warmed up.
See, I love yoga, but I don't know about doing it in the snow, but I do love doing it in the sun. So when's the next time we're going to see that sun come out?
Okay, Catherine, it's going to be a little bit till we see the sun. We may see it come out on Thursday when we don't have the snow falling down, but it's very unlikely. But if you're wishing for a day, it's going to be Thursday.
This weekend, it looks like we're going to get back into single-degree weather. What are your cold weather tips for how we can deal with this?
Yeah, being from Florida, I definitely have to look up some tips on how to dress in the cold weather. Definitely those big, heavy jackets, fleece-lined pants, fleece-lined shirts, but layer up because it gets warm in the classrooms now that we have all the heaters on.
Rebecca, thank you so much. That's all for our show tonight. For more content, be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and like us on Facebook. I'm Alex Amico.
And I'm Catherine Robinson. Thanks for watching, and have a great night, Syracuse.